Good evening and welcome once again to Straight from the Sky. I'm your talk show host, Bobit Avila, and tonight we have a very important guest, a very old friend of mine who has been promoted from Department of Trade and Industry Regional Director into an Assistant Secretary of the DTI. And really, it is a what you call a very very fortunate event for us in Cebu, especially in Region 7, that we have somebody who is up there, but technically she's still not in Manila because of the COVID. But really, we have a lot of things to talk about with Regional Director or former Regional Director Aster Caberte, who is now Assistant Secretary of DTI. And we'll be back with her after this break. Please don't go away.
Tagal. Parang internet mo. Get the Sky Fiber Super Speed plans. Up to 200 Mbps for fiber fast days. Switch to Sky Fiber. May lag. Parang internet mo? Get the Sky Fiber Super Speed plans. Up to 200 Mbps for fiber fast days. Switch to Sky Fiber.
Thank you for staying with us. Really, it's an honor and a great pleasure to have with us Assistant Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry, Aster Caberte. Mayang gabi diha, ma'am.
Mayong gabi, Sir Bobit. It's nice to see you again, but online lang. But at least nagkita ta.
Well, the new technology allows us to have an interview even via TV, kay tungod sa Zoom, and everybody seems to be doing that. So we are really kanabitang technologically advancing. So we are able to do what we could not do before. And
That's
it's
right.
really an honor to have Aster Caberte. Sus, dugayan akong amiga nimo. Panahon pa ko sa akong Regional Development Council when I was chairman of the Infrastructure, Utilities, and Economic.
Yes.
Daghan na kay kong mga kuan. And you were there all the time, who have helped Cebu, who have helped Region 7, and really now you can help the country. So, but before we go to that, Aster, maybe you should tell, kay gamay ra kayong nahibaw sa imong whole life story. Kibaw ko, taga Sibilya, Bohol ka. So, maybe,
Proudly.
maybe you should tell us about your life history.
Okay, let me start, Sir Bobit. I'm a graduate of University of San Carlos. But I only had like a year in San Carlos because my first and second year college, I was enrolled in University of Santo Tomas, Manila. And then I transferred to San Carlos. But then after a year, during my senior year, I was recruited as a Masikap Scholar, Medium and Small Scale Industries Coordinated Action Program, where they selected DTI, at that time it was Department of Industry, selected some students, graduating students, and joined government, even still enrolled, to serve as project development analyst. So I was assigned in Baguio, Region 1, to do project feasibility studies, still on my senior year. And we defend those project proposals for funding with banks. So from that time on, I was accepted by the Department of Trade and Industry, still the Small Business Action Center. At that time, it was Mr. Joel Mariu who was my boss.
And at that time, dugaya na ano eh.
Dugay na kayo. I never really imagined that I would follow his footsteps. Finally landed as Assistant Secretary. But then he is my role model as a boss. And then after that, I was assigned in Bohol. After SBAC, I was assigned in Bohol. And in Bohol, I was project analyst, industry specialist, and then a division chief. And then I landed as the provincial director in Bohol. And then after a few years, in 1998, I was practically plucked from Bohol to serve as the regional director of DTI Region 7. And then one morning, I was called by the secretary of the DTI, Secretary Mon Lopez, to offering me the position of Assistant Secretary. I ran out of reasons, good Sir Bobit. I've been saying no because I don't really, I love serving as RD for Region 7, but one sentence from my boss, my secretary, he said, tumulong ka na lang. So, saan pa man na nimo with that phrase, tumulong ka na lang. So I finally practically applied for the position as Assistant Secretary.
But you know, Ramon Lopez, among the many DTI secretaries, is for me one of the most dynamic secretaries.
He is really like workaholic, and it affects all of us in the department.
Although I haven't met him, but someday maybe maka-interview po ko na niya. Ako lang is that under Duterte, people are saying this president doesn't know anything about the economy, but he put in the right people at the right time, and I think Ramon Lopez is the perfect candidate under the Duterte administration.
He has really the passion to help, Sir Bobit. That I can say for my boss. Really the passion, and it is intense, the willingness to help the country.
I mean, you know, think about it. Sa 2019, we were actually ahead of almost everyone except Singapore in ASEAN. So you can just imagine that ang pobreng Pilipinas nakalamang sa ubang mga ASEAN neighbors nato, and that's because of the policies under Ramon Lopez. And really, those policies have put the Philippines, unfortunately, na kuan lang ta kanang na stymied lang ta tungod ano yung COVID-19. But other than
Yes.
that, I think we are doing very well.
Yes, sir. You can say that again. Immediately before COVID, we had positive figures, but we nosedive down when COVID came in.
Yeah, just like our tourism sector. went down also, like in a nosedive, no? Because we
Yes.
were really what you call experiencing a great tourism growth for Region 7 and ahead of even the entire country. So it was really
Yes.
something that we can be proud of.
Yes.
Unfortunately lagi, kaya tungod aning COVID, nangawa atong mga turista, nangasirado atong hotels, nasirado ang mga restaurants, wa na yung mga turista. So it's really happening not just in Cebu, but the entire Philippines and the entire world for that matter. And so ang atong, that's why I called you, kay maybe you can give us a hint later on in the next episode that how we can return back to normal under the leadership of Ramon Lopez. Kaya he also got the best that Cebu can offer, our regional director, Aster Caberte.
Thank you, sir.
Really, kanang para na ako magot, Aster, pila na ka-secretaries ni Agi nimo? Si Kuan?
Ubay-ubay na.
Ubay-ubay na.
Ubay-ubay
Yeah.
na.
And
Sino mga uno?
yeah, that's true.
I think I have 6 secretaries.
Yeah, and I think sa tanang mga secretaries, kanigid si Ramon Lopez nga medyo dynamic. I would use the word dynamic.
Yeah. And he knows us so well, and we know him so well. And I think it's one good secret in an organization when people, well, I no hesitation. Like we can call him anytime, we can text him anytime, and you can imagine, you can expect an answer anytime, because with this very, very fluid situation right now in this pandemic, we need all the advice, we need all the guidance, and of course we would want to like give him space also, but sometimes we have to call him for SOS, and he really reaches out to us to help.
Well, maybe sa next set we will be talking about the advances we did in the year 2019, but also what kind of what you call disaster has the COVID done to the Philippine economy. Kaya after all, the Philippine economy was really not in the doldrums. It was, in fact, our peso to the dollar rate was, I think, 52 at that time. And really, people were really believing in the Philippines. Especially, a lot of tourists were coming to the shores, not only of Boracay or in Siargao, but here in Cebu, we were experiencing extreme growth in our tourism industry. And this is something to be proud of. Anya under na nimo kay Regional Director Biasag ka.
Concurrent.
At that time, yes. Karon naman ka, kanus to mga a month ago nga gihangyo ka ni Ramon Lopez to be Assistant Secretary?
Actually, the offer has been there like a year. Nagyud Sir Bobit, and then I always had a good alibi. I'm taking care of a sick mother, but then my mother passed away na, and then he called me again. Now wala na si nanay. So
you ran out of
so
reasons.
yeah, I ran out of reasons. So I was offered like 6 months ago, and then I was appointed 2 months ago.
So you are one of those who do not treasure nga mabalik na ta sa normal, kay it means you will have to go to Manila and hold office there.
Pero trabaho ra gyud. I would wish gyud Sir Bobit that we have to go back to a better normal. I always say better normal. They have plans for me. Basin, I have to be more frequent in the Visayas.
Well, that is still good news. And we'll be back with Aster Caberte after this break. Please don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
Ay, may lag. Parang internet mo? Get the Sky Fiber Super Speed plans. Up to 200 Mbps for fiber fast days. Switch to Sky Fiber. Bagal kasi. Parang internet mo? Get the Sky Fiber Super Speed plans. Up to 200 Mbps for fiber fast days.
Ako, single.
Switch to Sky Fiber.
Thank you for staying with us. We're on our second set with the Assistant Director of the DTI, Aster Caberte. So, Aster, let's talk about our accomplishments in the year 2019 before we go into our disaster in 2020.
Okay. Sir Bobit, we had very good GDP growth rate. I don't think you will argue with that. In 2019, we were at 6.7. And before that, we were at 6.3. And the year before that, we were at 5.4. So it was really on an uptrend. The trajectory was very good until this pandemic came in. And would you believe, and I think you all know, you know this, we are at negative 3.4. That was in April. All the more maybe today. So I don't want to nosedive again with statistics. Diha na lang ko taman because but then again with our exports at that time we were also enjoying a positive growth in February 2019. Our exports, merchandise exports though, we were at 2.8% increase. We were so happy about that. We were really so happy about that. But then it again started to go slow down in March and April last year. So, and now we are at negative 50.8 nosedive. So it's really very bad. And we can see, so even without this statistics, Sir Bobit, we can see if you drive around Cebu City, you can see a lot of stalled construction projects. You can see a lot of unlighted establishments.
Correct.
Better now. Yes. Better now. It really pains my heart, to see empty streets. The zero traffic. Suddenly, I miss the traffic. I miss the traffic. I visit the malls from time to time because there are certain regular requirements that they have to comply. From time to time, we check, and our malls are 100% ready to accommodate their customers. But then, I think it is the stigma, the trauma.
Yes.
People are not really coming back. Not all. Dili gid dato mabalik before. The traffic is not there anymore. But hopefully, today, Sir Bobit, we are on MGCQ. Hopefully, this will bring back slowly the business that we would like. Today is the first day of our MGCQ.
Well, you know, last Sunday, I went up to Trans-Central Highway and I noticed daghan kay sakyanan. Not just motorcycles, because I was one of the first to go up there when the Abuetes was still constructing that road. This time, daghan kay sakyanan niya. A lot of these vehicles, mga pick-ups, are buying plants, vegetables. Some people are buying fruits, sweet corn. There are groups buying flowers. So you can just imagine how our Cebuanos are helping the farmers. And if you notice, if you go to malls, karon mga panahon na, not anyone, not everyone is going to the shopping mall. Tingali, tungod na sa atong record nga nahug tag world record nga longest lockdown in the world because of COVID. But kana tingaling nga longest lockdown nakuan sad na what you call na-affect sa mga tao, naka-feel sila nga kauwaw ani oy. Nya kibabi ka nga kamong naas Bohol, maminaw biya mo sa mga radyo dire Sugbo. Nya kanang mga radyo muna ang Cebu na interviewed on Zoom si Governor Arthur Yap. He told me nga gamay ra inyong mga silbing nga matay or na affected because mga tingaling mga taga Bohol, imagine atong May nga pista man taas Bohol, hapitan ng towns Bohol na pista, pero wa man sila nang imbitar og mga tagagawa sa Bohol. So in the end, na-leksyon ang mga tao.
Family members ra gyud ang naa sa mga fiesta celebration, family members.
Yeah, that's really a very what you call laudable effort by Governor Arthur Yap.
Yes, I will have a meeting with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Online meeting. Online meeting.
Ikumusta ko niya.
Yes, I will.
Because Arthur is one of those old friends of mine when he was still agriculture secretary. And
Okay.
I was also in the RDC when we built the kanang sa dapit sa kanang dam sa Ubay. We approved that in my committee, and I've been there.
Malinaw Dam. Malinaw
Yeah,
Dam.
Malinaw Dam, and it's also the site of the kanabitawng inyong stock farm, Ubay stock farm.
Yes.
So I would ask permission to go and visit that place. Na so ganahan kay kumona ni Pita. Gwapo kinang lugar. Mo na part sa
Yes.
Bohol.
Ay-
Naman may yutas Bohol, dako man may yutas Bohol sa Katigbian.
I know. Sagbayan. Katigbian. Katigbian.
Yeah. So that's my mother's property. So you can just imagine nga ang Bohol, thanks to Arthur Yap and the previous governors, ni-improve na biya ang tourism sa Bohol, labi na ng bag-o ng airport. So ang Bohol sad utro sa nisaka ang iyang kuan. I will not forget those days nga during my time as a RDC chairman. Nga na-shock ko pag ingon nga, do you know nga ang SMCT mas dako pag power consumption kaysa the entire island of Bohol? Na-shock ko ana nga tinuod eh.
Tinood.
Imagine SMCT mas dako power consumption. But karon I think nalipay lang ko nga ang Bohol improve yung dako.
Yes, may improve. It has really grown fast, the province of Bohol.
Yeah. And it's also because people like you who are from Bohol have helped also Bohol. So karon ang kuan nato is really when I talk to Governor Yap, he wants to wapo kay siya plano nga kung mabira niyang mga Chinese companies or companies from China to come to Bohol and operate there kay tungod sa gubot sa Amerika ug sa Communist China. So basin makada tingali para niya it does not disturb Cebu, it doesn't disturb Manila. It brings outside people to Bohol because kinsa may nangulitaw ana nila, Hong Kong or Vietnam or Thailand. So if Bohol will enter the dragon, wapo ta for Bohol.
Yes. In fact, doon ay may ko ang yun, a very specific agenda promoting Bohol to East Asia. It's a very specific agenda with the blessing of the secretary. He puts me there in that committee in that task force to discuss directly with Governor Yap on that agenda of making Bohol an investment area for East Asia.
Well, that is a very positive note na coming from a governor. Wa bitaw siya nga kanabitang mangilog sa ubang mga probinsya on his own. Ang iyang ilugan ang ASEAN countries which is our normal competitors anyway.
Tinood. It's very laudable, and he has that focus, the governor. He knows what he wants for the province and what's good for the province.
Yeah, so I'm really thinking with that kind of mentality, ang Bohol dako pa kay chance kay ang iyang recovery mas dali kaysa nato diri sa Sugbo kay remember Cebu City became like I said worldwide, world famous because of a longest lockdown. Kay daghang kayang nga angol din sa tungod sa COVID. But you know, if you think about it, ang Bohol gamay ra kayo. I think usara at that time or duha nga nangamatay. So really, it's a very low figure. And I was telling Governor Yap, you should be proud of it.
Okay. Bohol has been zero COVID for the longest time. So good na dugay gyud kay na silang nasudlan ang Bohol.
Mao bitaw. So ang atong kakuan na lang ron sa what you call the kanibitang MGCQ kung ang mga to atong shipping ang airlines mamalik na sa kuan basig magdana siya og COVID kung dili mo mag extra careful.
Careful. Yes.
So I think that is what is your mandate for Bohol to make sure nga people should be extra careful that dili mabalikan. Like kaning atong MGCQ diri Sugbo, we have also to be extra careful nga on September 15 di ta mabalik sa GCQ lang. So something that we really have to be extra careful about.
Yes. Extra careful good, and it should be considered, Sir Bobit, by everyone to be extra careful. All of these protocols as a civic duty. Bitaw, let's be individually responsible for others and for ourselves. Okay, and put always on our minds that there is that enemy. Consider everyone as positive. Mga bahala na og muna taog na super careful na, but then it's good for the country, it's good for the community.
Yeah, call ourselves paranoid, but that's the only way to save lives. And we'll be back with Aster Caberte after this break. Please don't go away.
First song. Thank you.
Bilis maka-sound trip. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
For today's look,
Bilis makaganda. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
LU pare.
Bilis maka-vacay. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
Thank you for staying with us. We're now halfway to the show with Assistant Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry, Aster Caberte. So, Aster, let's now talk about what has the DTI done in the time of this pandemic. Like, for instance, there was supposed to be a price freeze in the basic necessities in Region 7. I don't know whether that has been followed or implemented.
Okay. Pag-start yun sa COVID as early as March, all the prices of prime and basic necessities were frozen at prevailing prices. Thing, Sir Bobit, nga, kita sa DTI, we've been consistently monitoring at the municipal level yun. So we have that data nga. Anytime, kung asa mo igo ang calamity, we have that data as our basis to freeze prices. So we were able to freeze yun. So the days that followed after we had this price freeze for basic necessities, it was like so difficult. It's what crazy days we would call it, because it was so difficult enforcing something and we couldn't go
Yes,
out.
that's true.
So, we couldn't go out. So nagkuhan ko, I called this major establishments. Nag-strike na lang kong agreement with them. We will monitor, you will submit online your price monitoring, sign there, and then you have to commit that that's true, you report, and then we had our among physical monitoring was like pika-pika na lang yun bitaw. And I'm so happy, Sir Bobit, that ang atong mga establishments diri sa Region 7, compliant yun kaayo. We had like a maximum of 5 maybe nga naka-violate. And in fact, the reasons were what sila ma-aware dayon. So, inana lang. So, and even on the enforcement of no hoarding, mapugan ginato ang shortages of basic necessities, everyone followed. I think people were so tempted to like hoard, but they were so just afraid to do it because we emphasize it everywhere good. Gi-emphasize good namo nga dili good pwede. And our establishments, sila mismo naglimit good sa kada item o pila. So
Well,
we were able to surpass that stage. So after 60 days, kuan naman, we lifted naman the price freeze after 60 days.
ang kaning kuan, you also have the what you call the support or aid of the social media network. Okay, so hapit
Yes.
na mo report, sa Facebook mag-report na sila, sa Twitter ga-report kung naabay mga establishments nga nanakaw og presyo.
Oo. Maximum, we only had a maximum of 5 siguro naka-violate sa among price freeze, and that's a very good figure already.
Yeah, but let me point out also nga, although many of these businessmen wanted to increase their prices, under the table, but their problem is that since people are not going out, in the end, they had no customers. And if you have no customers, mura na siya kuan kanang bitong since wa man kay clients, ngano isaka man imong presyo, mga tao di na kay mo anha diha kay tungod mubo inyong presyo pero isaka niyo samot di mo anhan tao.
Correct. So it helped. It helped. Kanang ang what bitaw, so there was less demand. So and then people were also careful nga di pud mag-hoard. Sira ra na di. People were careful nga dili mag-hoard kay there was that instruction namo sa establishments to limit. So it was really a balancing nga ang sa demand dili kaayo, so that's why maybe dili kayo taas, that's why maybe may stabilize ang prices, and of course the price freeze.
Yeah.
So wala gid kaayo ta na problema diha.
That's really true, except in some areas, and let me just tell you, ni gawas ni sa Facebook gyapon ang mga kanabitawng mga Grab, mga kanang Lazada, mga kanang mga using the internet, a lot of them would increase their prices quietly, di lang kakibaw. Mora ikuan ako nga
Dili na cover
di
yun.
man nimo na ma-covered kay lain, di man gyud na sila under tingales DTI. I don't know, under kuan na sila, kinsa na sila.
Ang online transactions are under DTI.
Under gyapon.
And unfortunately, it's under my portfolio.
Because na ako napalit sa one of the kanang what you call internet, nya kuwang og pisa. So I could not return it kay kuan na ba, too late na. Nya cash on delivery, so nabayaran na nako, kapoy na lang. Anyway, ni trabaho maghapon ang butang. My point is people are more careful before than now. Kay mga tao naman silang buy. So in fact, kanang naa sa mga tao na asbay, I think has something to do with what I saw last Sunday. Because last Sunday, when I saw people buying plants, buying vegetables, buying flowers, mga gagmay, mga tanom, kung imo tan-awon, it's because most people have stayed in their homes and probably realized nga ilang bay uga or way mga tanom. Nagkaroon na sila kabantay nga ilang bay dili gyud siya sigo kayo kay tungod kuwang og mga tanom. So namalit sila.
I will add. I have a comment there, Sir Bobit. You know, we were discussing exports earlier, but I was so surprised. I had a meeting with the exporters of wearables and home style products, and 3 of them were saying, "Ma'am, our orders have doubled, and ang nakapakuan pa gyud, ang nakapatangala nila was rush orders." So our exports to the US for home furnishings, misaka og maayo because people are staying home now. Yeah, and I just realized nga, uy, huknok naman din yung akong furniture dire or one of the tables. Suddenly they saw these things in their homes because they're now staying longer in their homes.
Correct.
Ang atong export along that line, taas kaayo karon, 3 of them are coping with their huge orders. Our 3 exporters for home style.
That is good, what you call. Sa una, kuan mga tao kanabitawng wa nay time to look into what's happening within their homes. Dakog diferensyahan. You know, my daughter even has started to plant within what used to be a, what you call, flower area lang sa amo. Iyang giptangtang ang mga flowers niya, giplant niya mga vegetables. Karon pati buka. So you think about nga, suddenly, na-green ta mga kong anak.
Oh, di ba? A lot of positive things happening also.
Yeah, true. Yeah, for instance, no, kanang moabli ko sa kong aparador, daghang kog shirts, daghang kog mga karsones. Yan ko, naraman ko sabay, pajama raman ko, shorts raman ko. If you think about it, you have too many clothes that you don't need to wear. Sa una, kuwang, kay sige ta palit, sige ta kuan, regalo. Pero karon wa na, sobra ra.
Yes, that's very true. Ako in this pandemic, I learned una di ay ko'y gamay kaing talent on cooking because I had to cook for my own food. I had all the time. No, so I'm good at cooking di ay.
Good.
So mga positive things happening.
Ako, Aster,
Yeah.
I am lucky because, you know, my wife, Jessica, knows how to,
Yeah.
a very
So-
good cook. And my
Saludo.
daughter,
Saludo.
si Katrina, who is also a nurse, but nag-nurse naman siya nako sa akong kidney nga transplant. And she cooks, kuilam na nako ay scam. So she cooks very well also. So I'm lucky in the
Wow.
house. Muna ingon, swerte-swerte.
So you're well fed.
Yeah. Before, I hardly eat lunch in the house because I always eat out. Then sometimes less dinner. Karon, 3 times a day, buy. 3 times a day.
That's true. 3 meals a day at home.
Yes, that's true. How?
And healthy. And healthy food.
Yes, in fact, tungod sa akong kidney transplant, ni-reduce ang akong consumption. So, kamay na, kasi sila reklamo na ako nga, they cook so many and I eat very little. But then, mo man ay part sa akong growth na ko karon. So, I just eat very little.
Bitaw. That's right, Sir Bobit.
Well, you know, life has to go on. And we will go into our final set after this break. Please don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
Huwag mo siyang pakasalan!
Bagal kasi. Parang internet mo? Get the Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans. Up to 200 Mbps for fiber fast days.
Ako single.
Switch to Sky Fiber.
Piman, bye!
First song.
Thank you.
Bilis maka-sound trip. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
For today's look,
Bilis makaganda. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
LU pare.
Bilis maka-vacay. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
The theory of decreasing responsibility explains how your life insurance needs change over time. In the early years, you may need a lot of life insurance coverage, but in the later years, you may not. In the early years, when you're younger, you don't have a lot of money, but in the later years, you'd better have money. How does this fit with your insurance needs? Today, when you're young, loss of income due to a premature death would be devastating. Your children are young and you might have high debt and a house mortgage. Your need for insurance is highest at this time. When you get older, retirement income is needed. Your children are grown, your debts are lower, and your mortgage is paid. If you have savings, you are self-insured, diminishing your needs for insurance. That's the theory of decreasing responsibility. By having life insurance when your financial responsibilities are the greatest, you can have peace of mind knowing your family's future is protected.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's now talk, Aster, about what do you think will happen in the future if there is going to be a COVID-19 vaccine and what you call, are we still going to be in a new normal? Like for instance, ang mga klase biya karon daghan na kayong internet na lang, especially for those na internet, ang luoy ang kanawa internet. So, what do you think it will happen to the future of our economy?
Sir Bobit, definitely, we are not going back to what used to be our normal. All our efforts this time should be geared towards making a better normal for all of us. And you mentioned about the educational system that we have. Suddenly, there's there's a shortage. There's a reported shortage of printing materials and bond paper.
Really, ah?
So kami, yeah. So kami sa government, I never really expected that. So you were asking ang government as an enabling agent, we should do a lot of tweaking on what we used to do before sa normal pa. Like, these materials were never in our monitor, necessities nga i-monitor. But this time I said, at least for the past week, I said we have to go monitoring for bond paper and printing materials. Why? Some of our establishments are starting to hoard. So we were watching them, and we might come up with a suggested retail price also, because they are expecting a huge demand in the future in preparation for the opening of the school year. But then as early as now, nagprint naman sila. Nagprint na, so taas kayo ang orders. And we are also monitoring now the supply, the incoming importations of laptops, of these gadgets, the hardware, because there's a shortage now,
Correct,
Sir Bob.
I know.
Okay. So this is a new change in purchasing behavior, the consumer behavior. I watched WGSN. They had a webinar. Kani sila mo forecast of mga consumer behavior, and you will be surprised that based on their survey, our consumers are starting to be focused now on what is healthy, health and wellness products.
Correct.
Yeah, natural food, less preservatives, less. So for the more on the healthy side, our consumption, and very interesting because ang surge sa fashion is the upper. They don't care about the under. So as we were discussing earlier, nagpajama ra ka, nag-short pants ra ka at home. So what is in demand now? Ang mga blouses, t-shirts, upwear. Makula na siya. And then more home style items. Our consumer behavior is geared towards that. And cooking, more on cooking for the kitchen, more recipe books.
Correct.
So everybody is trying to learn. Nakukugil kayo og twist. But then, well, that's on the lighter side lang. But Sir Bobit, I think really, if you notice, I've been working very closely with the Department of Tourism now, and Governor Gwen Garcia in her positive move to really open up tourism in the province. So I am always with them because tourism, being a major economic driver in the region, in the value chain of tourism, our micro, small, and medium enterprises are embedded there.
Correct.
So when we help tourism, we are helping. We have now a way of reaching out to our MSMEs. And my dear, grabe gyud kayo, Sir Bobit. I went with them and I really saw how affected our tourism players are. And we went to the extent of helping them on how to comply with these protocols for them to be able to move forward.
Correct. Oh. You know,
Yeah,
I'll give you example. Ang uslob, nakadungog ko, mangkukadto. Ang uslob ko, no, ang problema dahil ko no uslob kay why mga restaurants able, niya at the same time, you're not allowed to bring your food. So, layo makay na, kung sa asa makamakaon. So, it's, they have to really study how to bring back the tourists at the same time to make sure that they stay in a place and be able to eat. Muna ibantayan na nila.
Yeah, the value chain has to be back. The players,
Yeah.
we have to help them. Example, in Walboal, Sir Bobit, there is a regulation manggod karon nga all of these diving gears should be disinfected before they can be used for their sardines run. So I had this dialogue with the divers, and they were saying nga di gid mi ka afford ana ma'am, for the longest time wala na mi income. So for the dili gyud mi ka-afford anang mga requirements ninyo sa gobyerno. So I ask unsa man ang inyong kinahanglan. Kana para sa ilang disinfection room, para sa ilang diving gears, ang mga UV lamps, all of these needs.
Correct.
We help them. We help them. We tweak again, Sir Bobit. Again, there should be a tweaking in our programs aron musibo sa panginahanglan sa atong mga kaigsuonan karon.
Okay.
We tweak them. Yeah, we assisted them. We gave them a livelihood kit nga makakuha sila sa ilang mga requirements aron maka-operate sila og balik. We gave like we were able to assist 47 of them. 47 gagmay kaayo nga mga trabahante o mga MSMEs in this is in Moalboa.
Well, that's really true, Aster. I believe in that because yes, kanang COVID nga lockdown nato, daghan kay sila negosyo nga nasirado kay namalit, for instance, silang equipment, ready na sila, nag-improve silang equipment, then at the same time nakautang sila karon sirado wa sila customer, unsa mo nila palitan ng mga bag-ong requirements the IATF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to provide them. We have to with those needs, and we have to listen. Kay dunay mga bag-ong needs karon, Sir Bobit. Nga when we designed government programs before under a different assumptions. Now, these are not assumptions anymore. Reality naman yun nga mao ni ang ilang mga needs. So kami sa government kinahanglan nga atong reboot, atong i-tweak
Correct.
ang atong package of assistance to be able to fit to the needs of our constituents.
Yeah, you know, for instance, kaning mga resorts, they want to go back, but first, they could not, if you have a 400-room facility, you cannot bring it back to 400 rooms right away because some of your employees cannot be going back to the hotel right away. Number two, kung makakuha kag 100 rooms, may na kay na because but ang problema, not all of them have brought down their prices. So if ang kaning mga taga-Sugbo unta nga na lockdown for a long time, who wants to go to the beach, mahalan naman gyapon sila. So these are adjustments that I think the IATF must help also.
I so believe that, Sir Bobit. In fact, there has to be a way to also give feedback to IATF because everybody's talking about easing up requirements. Everybody's talking about opening up, but we have to look into the regulations that we are imposing to the private sector. It's easy for them to really move forward.
Really, because if you talk about local government units, sometimes ang problema aning mga LGUs is that sometimes they slap you with their own bureaucracies. And when you have the bureaucracy problem like that, then you're actually letting people, you're creating a problem for little people. So that should not happen.
Yes. So we should be more enabling, more easy to deal with, aron nga maka-move forward.
You know, I'll give you an example. My son, who is a pilot of Philippine Airlines, flew to Barbados and then finally came back. Then he was not allowed. Kaya wa pa man siya apor nga kuan, nga tag. He was told to go to, nagpuyo siya, kondo siyang amigo, yes, Pasay, ipaadto siya to get a clearance sa Pasay. Then he took a picture and said, Dad, ma-COVID ko kaya wala mga tawana, why social distancing, why face mask. So, di na lang ko, Dad, di na lang ko pauli. Muna ingon lagi nga, ang local government sometimes, they put in their own bureaucracy to the detriment of their own people.
Usahay, kay baka Sir Bobby, tinuod na kaayo. Usahay, so much regulation, maumagid na. Of course, they always claim that they are for the general common good yun ang ilang after. But sometimes, all of this makes it so difficult to move forward. Like Apor, like ako karon, I'm 14 days on quarantine. So wala pa ko ka-deliver sa akong mga official nga tuyo dire. So I am still always online, always online. So tomorrow, the governor would want to see me, meet me, online gihapon. So tomorrow is my last day of this quarantine. I hope I can move faster.
Well, all I can say, Aster, is good luck. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. I will just ask
Okay.
you for your parting shot after this final break. Please don't go away.
First song.
Thank you.
Bilis maka-sound trip. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
For today's look,
Bilis makaganda. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
LU pare.
Bilis maka-vacay. Ganyan sa Sky Fiber Super Speed Plans.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's now ask the Assistant Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry, Aster Caberte, for her parting shots. Aster?
Sir Bobit, we've learned a lot, negative and positive, from this pandemic. We have become smarter than the virus to really still deliver our services. We are online and we have webinars, all of this. We're able to still deliver our services. But my parting words, Sir Bobit, we really have to learn from this. We know we can never go back to what we used to say, like not normal. We have to move forward to a better normal. And again, we should consider that it is our civic duty to really be responsible for ourselves, to be able to take care of others. So my parting words, Sir Bobit, I'd like to quote this from Pema Chodron. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know.
That's a,
So
that's a very nice quote.
nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know.
Yeah.
So with that quote, I thank you, Mr. Bobit, for this time. And stay well and stay safe always, Sir Bobit.
Well, thank you so much, Aster, and congratulations for your new position as Assistant Secretary of Trade and Industry. Someday I will probably, interview your boss, Ramon Lopez. And really, you have given us a very thorough discussion on the Philippine economy at this time. So you've heard it here in Straight from the Sky. I'm Bobit Avila. Thank you and good night.